Now to our next story. You know, the terror gang, Boko Haram, began like a boys' plaything at Maiduguri in 2002. And today it has become a monster. In the past 24 hours, army bases in Borno State, especially at the capital city, Maiduguri, have been attacked. The fear of a comeback by these merchants of death is palpable, thereby escalating concerns about more disruptions. The choice is now, which is to call the bluff of this terror gang.
Yes, and it's something that we need to do quickly. I'm worried. I'm really worried. The worst that can happen is for us to go back to the way things were around 2013, 2014, when Boko Haram was declaring its caliphate.
Okay.
And taking over communities and imposing their own rules in those communities. They came, the first place they went to was Goza. They declared the caliphate in Goza and moved to Damboa, and also declared that Damboa had become their own. And within a short time, they were expanding across the northeast region. In Adamawa State alone, they had 7 local governments to themselves.
Okay.
More than 17 local governments to themselves in Borno State. And they went to Yobe, 2 local governments they had to themselves. We don't want that kind of situation where every time you hear that this attack has happened. And what we've seen in the last few, this thing degenerated around October. So between October and March. 2024. Yes, last year. Between October and March, we've seen more than 150 attacks. A lot of these things don't get reported. And we've seen our soldiers killed in dozens. And military bases taken over. What we used to see then, whereby the boys approach a military base and you hear that the base has fallen, is now very common. The soldiers must be ready to fight. Yes. There is a lot of sacrifice. Oh, yeah. But it demoralizes not just soldiers, but the Nigerian people when you hear that, oh, another military base has fallen. And the chief of army staff must do something quickly. We can't continue to have that situation. These kind of people shouldn't be taking over military bases. It makes no sense. How do we convince our people that we are in position to defend them? When Boko Haram, within a short time, on May 12th, they attacked the military base in Marte. That was the one that they even showed corpses and all that. Okay. Then less than 24 hours after, they attacked more bases in Dikwa Ran. That is along the border with Cameroon and Gajiram. So that they had the audacity within 24 hours to attack 3 other bases. After what they did in Marte is something that is really, really troubling. And I believe that we get to the root of the matter. Now, they need more troops. They are complaining that they need more troops. They should send more troops to that area. I think that we prioritize the Northwest at a point when we felt that these guys had been decimated. Yeah. But as I've always warned on this program, until the final victory, we should never convince ourselves that the enemy is defeated. All right, then. Yeah. So the steps that we've taken to now pull away troops from here and take them to the Northwest, because you know the 2 defense ministers are from the Northwest and they want to show that they are working. I can understand if they pile pressure on the military, but we are seeing now that that has backfired because we've left part of Borno State undefended or not defended sufficiently. Oh, yeah. Not sufficiently. Yes. Defended. So when you move armaments to a place to secure that place, you leave your flanks open. You leave your flanks open. And that's why the governor said, oh, that their own defense was not being prioritized. That was the point that he made. I think it was in response to our beefing up security in the Northwest to the detriment of the Northeast. But these are issues now being addressed, and we expect results quickly.
Well, you know, when you balance what he has just said with the fact that Boko Haram appears to be more
emboldened.
You know, yeah. They are going nuclear, so to speak.
Yes, I think
we can call the bluff of these guys.
Yes, I think it's very unfortunate that this is happening in Borno, where we have a governor that is having sleepless nights.
Oh yeah.
To address the needs of his people, especially security. It's very unfortunate. But I think that what I see that is responsible for what looks like upsurge, you know, in Boko Haram are so many factors. The first one is that the crisis between ISWAP and Boko Haram seems to have, you know, reduced. So they now focus more on the Nigerian state instead of, you know, the infighting between them that at the time they were killing each other. So there appears to be more collaboration with them. And they are coming together as one. It's definitely going to lead to increased funding from ISIS. And I also think that their access to sophisticated military drones, you know, is a major plus for them and a disaster for us. And we also heard that ISIS experts are coming in to give them assistance. And there's no way the international global order will not affect, you know, insurgency in Nigeria, especially the Palestine-Israeli conflict. Yeah. You know, because many of them are united all over the world, even arch enemies, because of this crisis, you know, coming together, raising more funds to ensure that they spread their network. And I think the reduced cooperation between Nigeria, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, because of the ECOWAS, you know, is something we need to look at. Because we share borders with these countries. No matter who is in power in these countries, for the interest of West Africa, for the interest of Nigeria, we need to share intelligence. We need to cooperate militarily. And I think the other aspect, which I call the mini, is the exploitation of this crisis for political reasons towards 2027. So that is left for the government to look at that, because I would have expected some of this, other people to see this as a national challenge. Not every time that there you make political capital out of it. You know, just because you think that there should be more crisis in order to justify, you know, your coming to power to contest 2027 election. So there is a political aspect. I believe that the government can also do more in terms of intelligence gathering, share intelligence with these other countries, so that we can nip in the bud the source of funding and then the source of weapons that, you know, these extremists have access to.
Okay, so we are done with that subject matter. I'd rather we moved over to our next